Yo, yo, yiggity yo. What is up? Welcome to the Self-Care Bear Club. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing. It really means a lot. It really means a lot that you're turning your attention inward, focusing on the change that you can create. And it matters. If you've forgotten, it really fucking matters. It really, really fucking matters, right? You make a ripple whether you are aware of it or not. So thank you. You're doing fucking great. Let's hear it for you. Yay. So today we are talking about turning setbacks into comebacks. You've heard this before, right? You've heard this before. Actually, I was praying. I say it like that because I know it sounds icky to some folks, but I need to stop saying like that because it doesn't sound icky to me. I was praying and rather just asking the universe like what my next podcast was going to be, because believe it or not, it doesn't just flow to me naturally all the time. And bam, there it was, right on a billboard on my way to Jazzercise the other day. So I was like, oh, perfect, like setbacks into comebacks. And I actually think it was like a law office advertisement, which is super funny if you know anything about my backstory. If you don't, you'll hear about it today. So anyways, it was like, yeah, duh. How do we turn our setbacks into comebacks, right? How do we do that? So I'm going to try to stay on course here and give us a few little words of inspo to remind us that it's all good. You're on the right path, right? And you can make simple changes to sustain your comeback. So what is a comeback? What is a comeback? A comeback is exactly as it sounds. It's when you feel successful and you come back to homeostasis. Let's say that, right? I like that. That's my definition of a comeback. When you come back home to your natural state of well-being. Now, other people, intense people, really goal-getting people might say, you might have a different definition, and that is a-okay, right? So you have to decide where you and your path are going. So do that, right? It's all about you and not what I think or where I've been, right? So just remember that. The question I meant to ask was, what is a setback? And simple, right? A setback is the opposite of a comeback. It is where you feel disconnected, you feel lost, you feel negative emotions, you've fallen down, you feel like you're failing at something, you feel like you're failing at life, a relationship, a job, a personal endeavor, a workout, a race, a competition, right? That's a setback. So for example, it can be minuscule. It can be something. It can be something as small as you forgetting to call your mom. And you know how that shit goes, right? Or it can be as something as grand as falling off a bike in a gold medal race, right? Or as grand as going bankrupt in a business, or as grand as cheating on a spouse, or getting a divorce. Again, this is for you to define. And those were all really big ones. I want to remind us that it's in the simple, small things daily that's where your setbacks are going to turn into comebacks, right? It's those simple daily practices that are going to send you through the roof. And so wherever you're at, my friends, it's all good. It's all good. I can't emphasize that enough. And I know it doesn't probably feel good where some of us are at. So you're not alone, but I'm not living down here with you. We're going to raise the vibe together, right? maybe your new definition of what is a setback is that it's a set up. Because the truth is, and it sounds so cheesy, and you've heard people say this, whether it be in church, on the internet, on a little poster hanging up in your elementary school wall, there are no mistakes, right? Only lessons. There are no failures, only lessons. And it's just so true. And it's annoying when you're failing, or you feel like you're failing, right? You feel like there's this destination and you're never going to make it. And I want this money and this job and this man and this house and that. And that's good. Like, don't forgo your dreams and what you actually want. But when you're in the mindset of, I'm failing, I'm not doing it right, we're not gonna get here to there. There's like steps you gotta take. So these are steps you gotta take. So rejection is redirection is another annoying thing people say. And that's super true, right? I'm just learning that this is all true. And something that I've known is true. And again, some days you're gonna feel it, you're gonna live it, you're gonna be it, you're gonna scream it at everybody else. And other days you're gonna be like, man, I just gotta crawl in my bed. And both days are good. Both days are serving you. I hope we can get to a place where we truly believe that and feel that. So how do we navigate setbacks, right? A little bit about my story is that, because you might be like, well, what are you doing? Like, well, I'm learning to live in peace, and I don't live in my dream house. I don't drive my dream car yet. I don't have a perfect relationship, right? And I was gonna say I don't want those things, but like, obviously I'm human. I want those things, but it's the realizing that it's all getting me there. So again, you have to set your own goals. That was a big deal for me. It was like learning my pace and like realizing like, yeah, some of these things sound fun, but like I'm so much more of like I just want to have fun like day to day. And when you do have fun and peace and ease day to day, like your whole world changes. So while you might not think my life is super grand, like I'm getting there, baby. And it is super grand. It is super grand in so many ways. So a little bit about my story. Like, let's talk about my setbacks real quick. I've been to jail 3 times. Every time I like think about that, which is not very often because that would keep me back there where I don't need to be, is crazy to me, right? Can you imagine? Some people are like, what? If you know who I am now, you're like, what? And if you know who I was then, sorry, not sorry. It led me here, right? But I've been to jail 3 times. So can you imagine? Maybe you can't imagine because you're like, I've never been to jail. But what kind of mental, emotional state must I have been in to get me into those situations? And if you've never thought about it that way, like you're like, oh, it could have been like your actions are defined by what's going on inside of you, right? We always talk about that. And so it all comes back to you. And that's a lot of responsibility, but it's a beautiful responsibility as well. So, been to jail 3 times, and I'm just living in a negative space, right? Now, 2 of these times were like 8-9 years apart, which is kind of crazy, right? So there was good moments, highs and lows, as we all have, right, in there. But the underlining theme of my life at this point in my life was this sense of guilt and shame. And then going to jail makes you feel a lot more of that shit, right? You're like, how am I here? What? I'm like a white girl who grew up in the suburbs and like my parents love me and whatever. It don't matter. It's all relative, right? It's all relative. Did you feel how icky those thoughts felt? And those are like barely, that's just like I didn't feel icky when I delivered it, right? But in this time, I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling, I'm feeling all the feels, right? But I'm also not feeling them because those feelings are a part of life, right? They're going to be a part of your setbacks. I wasn't actually feeling them and just moving through them. I wasn't accepting them. I wasn't accepting where I was at. I was clashing. I knew it wasn't who I was, and I couldn't accept the things I had done. So you have to monitor your responses to your setbacks. You have to accept, I fucked up, right? I fucked up. The sooner you can accept, feel the feels, and move on, like, that's the ticket right there. And it's really hard to do if you're not in a growth mindset. But I know you are, because you are here. So I need you to monitor your responses to simple things. Again, if you can monitor them in the daily ins and outs, like of how you respond to conflict, how you respond to a stressor, how you respond to driving. Like if you're an aggressive driver, I'm not trying to say that you're a bad person, but you pointing everybody out and calling them idiots on the road, just not a good practice. Not a good practice. I'm human. I think it too, man. So no shame, no guilt. Not telling you what to do here, just speaking from experience, right? It's those little simple moments throughout your day that define you, right? So you've got to monitor your responses. You've got to practice vulnerability and compassion. Those are things you just have to find out. I can't tell you how to do it, and I know that's annoying. I've been really working through this acceptance piece on a whole like new level. Remember the layers, the never-ending layers of you and your consciousness and your existence. You're not going to do this once and you're just going to be like, oh, this is my comeback. My comeback is forever. That's not real. So, friendly reminder that, but we're going to practice vulnerability, meaning we're going to be honest with ourselves, and in turn we'll be more honest with our people. If you have a team and like this is business oriented and you feel like you've failed in some way, practice vulnerability with your team. Be honest with them. Don't lie. Don't tell them you're making millions when you're going bankrupt, right? That's not going to help anybody. Be vulnerable. Soften. It's all good, because when you soften and you are honest with other people, it means you're being honest with yourself. We're going to remember that defeat is temporary. Ugh, that's a hard one, right? Can you imagine if I just was like, oh, I'm in jail. Okay, this is where I'm at. I'm going to stay here forever. Like, I'm good. I'm good just being here forever. No. When you fall off your bike, what do? You get back on the bike, I hope. Like, there was this example of, again, like a gold medalist. Like imagine you fall off the balance beam, or you fall in the middle of a race. Like you have the option to give up. Nobody's probably gonna blame you. Like if you tripped on what are those things called when you're hopping, doing the, I don't know what they're called, when you're running and you jump. When you're doing those, if like you fall, nobody would care. They'd be like, oh yeah, she fell, she couldn't catch up, it's fine. What are you telling yourself in that moment? And that's why the simple practices daily are so important, because if you're not telling yourself how good you are when you feel good, when you feel bad, oh man, those are the moments that really define you, right? If you can love yourself in those moments and not dwell on the negative and not be like, oh, I fucking fell, I'm the worst, I fucking fell, like it's over. It is never over, right? It is never over. It's just never over. It's never over. So get back up and don't blame. Don't blame anybody else. That's a big one. Don't get caught in blame. Like, oh, it's like, even in like your past lives and like your generational trauma, and like, I get it. I know it's a part of you. I know it's a part of your DNA. So if it's something you need to work through, let's work through it, baby. Let's fucking work through it. And again, it's never ending, so that's annoying, but let's continue to work through it, right? Let's not use that as our crutch. How about that, right? Oh, it's her fault. Oh, it's my mom's fault because she didn't do X, Y, or Z. Or, oh, it's that driver's fault because they weren't paying attention. This might be true, by the way, but it don't fucking matter. What matters is your mindset, your emotional vibration that you're going to continue on into the world. Because the truth is that whatever's happening in this moment is old news. Abraham Hicks says that all the time. This is old news. It's like, she says, like, it's like gum that's like lost its flavor, right? Whatever's happening right now is because of something you thought yesterday, 5 years ago, or something. Like, it's just taking a while to catch up. So what matters from this moment right here and now is how you choose to react, how you choose to respond, how you change your thoughts. And that's going to take lots of work, my friends. Or you'll get to a stage where it doesn't. And then you'll go back and forth. And then you'll go back and forth. And it's all good. So if you're struggling, don't forget to ask for help. If you feel like you're failing, if you feel like you're failing, don't forget to ask for help. If you don't have support around you, you do, because you're here. Join a community. You don't have to make yourself visible, right? Listen to podcasts. You live in a world where literally everything's at your fingertips. How fucking cool is that? Read a self-help book. Listen to 10 minutes a day. Like, I love starting my morning with like a 10-minute video. I'm not listening to like hour-long podcasts, not even like 30-minute podcasts every day, right? Those are good when you can, so thank you again. But like 10 minutes a day of something positive. And ask for help internally. If you don't pray, I suggest you start. But also, that's bullshit. I know you've said a prayer probably in your darkest of times. Or you've said a prayer of gratitude without noticing it. Like when you're flying high, you're like, wow, thank you, right? Like, this is awesome. So you're praying, you're vibing, whether you know it or not. So if you can intentionally pray, and asking for help, like, it's always saved me. Even in my most desperate moments, which a prayer is better when it's not desperate. But if you're desperate, don't stop praying. Don't give up, right? Journal. If prayer is not your jam, journal. Ask for help internally. What can I do? How do I really feel about this? And how can I move forward? How can I move forward, right? I didn't go from being in jail to owning my own business, right? There's been so much in between that we don't have time to talk about, right? But I own my own business. I make my own schedule. If you're like, what does she fucking do? I love my life and I love it more every day. I love myself more and more every day. You've heard me be sad, happy, grumpy, excited, and it's just all good. It's all good. Did I feel this when I was going through these super hard setbacks? Not entirely. So again, wherever you're at, you got to take these tiny steps and know that it's going to be okay. Trust something bigger than yourself. Embrace a growth mindset. One day at a time. People love that shit. One day at a time. That never worked for me, but one day at a time. 1 second at a time, right? People always say, enjoy the journey. It's not the getting there. It's the going there. And the sooner you can accept that, like old people say that shit all the time, right? We don't want to hear it. But the sooner you really get like that life is happening fucking now, and like you can choose to like embrace it all, or you can fight it like it's the fucking plague. Which one feels better? Which one feels better? You have to make a choice. And it's not always easy, but you have to make a choice. That you want to be happy, that you want to feel peace. We're blaming it on the government. We're blaming it on this. We hate the Trump supporters. We hate Elon. I don't do any of that, by the way. For all of you who sit in my chair and want to tell me how stupid these people are. I don't know these people at all. I don't pay attention to these people. And you might be like, how can you not pay attention? Because I care too much about the way I feel. Now, again, I'm human. Don't get me wrong. I get sucked into that shit all the time. But then I come back to me and remember that that's setting me back, honestly, in such small ways that you probably don't even notice it. But if I'm focusing my attention elsewhere and I'm focusing it on anything negative, it doesn't have to be just on like my current situation. It's slowing you down. It's like you're in fucking mud, right? So it all comes back to appreciation, baby. Love, 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 love. And all you need is love. They knew it. We know it. You know it. So remember it. Enjoy the fucking journey best you can. And when you can't, find support from within. Phone a friend. You can find support from without. So if you're in a place where you really need like therapy, a coach is never a bad idea. But therapy or like true help or like, fuck it. Like, I don't really like pills at this point in my life, but I'm like, whatever you need. I get that it's hard, right? Like a little weed ain't gonna kill you. Like we're all right. Like, do what you do and do it with love and you're gonna be fucking all right. On this journey, we have to know what we want, which is a big one for me. Like, I just didn't have goals and I'm still working on that part of me. Like, my goal was just to love myself more and more every day. So I'm learning to accept that. If you can't tell, I'm like, I don't have these big goals. Like, I do. We're just defining them, right? And they're changing all the time. That's where I was going with that. Like, you have to have the plan, but you have to pivot. So I think I appreciate that about myself, right? I am enjoying the journey and it's changing all the time. So like when I started the Self-Care Bear Club, for instance, it was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a podcast every 2 weeks and I want to be a coach one-on-one. That's how I'm going to make this passive income. And like, even the way I'm saying it, like, just didn't work for me, right? Can you feel like that resistance in it? And it didn't work. It didn't work for me. I didn't really want those things. And I didn't know until I tried, right? I didn't know until I tried. Like, I don't want to be necessarily a one-on-one coach. Like, if that's what you get from me, awesome. But that's not where I thrive. I thrive in rambling. I thrive in a class setting. I thrive, I thrive in a one-on-one with me. And I do thrive in a one-on-one setting. If you have sat behind my chair in the hair studio, like, maybe you feel like I've touched you in that way. And I appreciate that. And I love that. And I don't plan to give that up anytime soon. But I had to really be honest with myself and monitor my response and adjust my response, because I take on a lot of other people's things. As an empath, like, I wore that like it was like a fucking badge, and it's like, no, it's not who I am. Like, I can change that story, right? But it's exhausting. It's quite frankly exhausting, and that's why I'm choosing not to work with people one-on-one right now. That might change fucking too, right? So anyways, you have to have a goal, a plan, but you have to pivot. Give me a heart if you know that reference. And that's basically it, my friends. So when you are on this journey, just know that setbacks are gonna be everywhere. Think of it like as a roadblock, right? A detour. Whatever you need to fucking tell yourself, man. I don't fucking know. I'm out here doing it for me. Like, I'm doing it for me. A setback is a set up. And just know that there's so much out here for you. I know it's easy to get caught up in timelines, in other people's stories, in other people's expectations. But you got to bring it back home. You got to bring it back home to the good US of A. No, home. Homeostasis. What did we say that a comeback was? It was a coming back to your homeostasis, your natural state of well-being. So figure out what does it for you. It might not be grand. It may be super grand. You get to decide what your life looks like. You get to decide what your comeback feels like. And we're coming back, babe. We're coming back strong. Okay, so I hope I touched you a little bit today. If you're still listening, I love you so much. If you're not listening, I love you too. Remember, it all begins within. So give yourself a big hug out there, my friends. And take care. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.